In our last video, we showed our first attempt for a drill for what we regard to be the basic application of cut number 3 in Charles Roworth's system for saber and broadsword fighting from around 1800 AD. The feedback on that video revealed a lot of interest in the reasoning behind our interpretation. Therefore, in the present video, we would like to illustrate the stream of thoughts which led to our current take of Roworth's cut number 3. Here we will also incorporate some refinements based on some constructive criticism regarding our drill video. While it should be self-evident, for some people it seems to be necessary that I explicitly state that what I say in this video is my opinion. This opinion results from nearly 25 years of experience in historical swordsmanship and analyzing historical fencing treatises, as well as how I read the art of defense. By no means do I claim to have the ultimate understanding on the subject addressed here. I don't know what an author, who lived about 200 years ago, had in mind. I can only interpret what he has written down. For me, an interpretation of an historical fencing treatise should be in line with the source and martially sound. Over the years, I've seen both extremes of failure regarding these two criteria. Interpretations which followed the text in the most direct way the average reader in the 21st century would read it but had no chance of working in a fight, and those which worked martially but had little in common with the source. The challenge is to find an interpretation which fulfills both goals. And you have to take into account every bit of information provided by the source, even if some of those bits seem to contradict each other. You must not ignore what does not fit your expectations or contradicts your current level of experience. On the other hand, don't overinterpret what you find in a source. Don't read general statements as absolute ones. Be open-minded for what the source actually has to offer. What does it actually say? Would there be other ways to understand a certain passage? Maybe another way, which you haven't even thought about, would turn the description into a fighting technique which is way more effective or efficient than the one you had in mind first. At times this may require that we think outside of our boxes, since our 21st century boxes are probably more than just a bit off from anyone's box who lived in the Napoleonic era. Occasionally you might also have to think around corners, though I don't think that this is the case with Roworth's The Art of Defense. Nevertheless, Roworth is a rather challenging source because of the way he presents his information. Relevant bits and pieces are scattered all over his book, which have to be found, assessed, and combined by the reader. You will see what I mean later in this video. Ultimately, interpreting historical fencing treatises is about fighting, not linguistics or semantics. So an interpretation which keeps you untouched but makes you hit the opponent is better than one which leads to a double hit. And one which takes a few hours of practice to add it to your fighting repertoire is more likely to be correct than one which needs several months of training. I have changed my interpretations for other weapons and styles as I gained deeper understanding of the specific systems and of swordsmanship in general. So chances are that I will change my mind on the subject of this video as well, somewhere in the future. Developing an ultimately satisfying interpretation may take a few cycles of refinement. But at the moment, I'm pretty happy with what we've got. Let me also add that this interpretation incorporates a number of ideas from my students. So while I'm to blame for including them, I definitely can't claim to have come up with all of them, but I'm very thankful for my students' contributions. If you have already gone the route which we describe in this video and have come to the conclusion to give up on it, I would love to know why. Otherwise, I hope this video provides some new insights as well as an interesting new perspective to your work on Roworth's Art of Defense.